welcome to episode 3, where we will walk and scooter around Mainz to see how the Romans made themselves at home on the Rhine in Mainz. This was the location of a Benedictine monastery in the Middle Ages, and it was expanded into the quadrangular citadel as we know it today in 1655. During the Siege of Mainz in 1793, which you heard about in episode 2, the abbey was destroyed by Prussian shelling. After the Napoleonic Wars, Prussians and Austrians settled in the citadel and used it as barracks. There are various hollow trusses on the citadel. The fortress builders erected trusses across the main wall to protect the soldiers on the parapet from crossfire. Since the beginning of the First World War in 1914, the citadel with its courtyard was used as a prison camp for 300 to 400 French and Russian soldiers and officers. Due to the increase in Allied air attacks in the Second World War, they were forced to open the old Mainz fortress corridors in the upper town and use them as air raid shelters. But what does the citadel have to do with the Romans? Well, there are a few significant Roman sites here in the citadel, including the Drusenstein stone or tower and the Roman theater, which we'll save for the end. Erected in 9 BC by Roman troops in honor of the deceased General Drusus, the Drusenstein is nearly 20 meters high on the grounds of the citadel. It was originally cased in marble. Drusus had founded Moguntiacum, the precursor of Mainz, around 12 or 13 BC. After being robbed of its marble casing in the early Middle Ages, the Drusenstein served as a watchtower in the fortifications of the city in the 16th century. On the 2000th anniversary of Mainz, the Drusenstein was featured on a postage stamp. The Gautor in Mainz was part of a fortress ring built around the city in the 1650s and was one of the most important entrances to Mainz for about 250 years. In 1998, the preserved facade on the outer side of the Gautor was put up again near the original location. As the city of Mainz grew and modernized, they sometimes left relics of the past to be remembered, like these remains of a medieval wall surrounded by newer apartments, and these remains of a Roman city gate from the late 4th century that was discovered during construction work for a new residential area in 1985. The Alexander Tower is a late medieval city tower from the 15th century, which stands on the foundation of a round tower of the Roman city wall from the 4th century. Fort Joseph was built from 1710 to 1730 and was one of 5 new forts, also called entrenchments, that formed the second fortress ring around Mainz. This had become necessary as cannon technology grew and cannon fire became capable of shooting over the existing blockades. Once the highest aqueduct north of the Alps, now only the foundations of the Great Roman Aqueduct are visible. Any solid structure of Roman age was recycled during the Middle Ages. The aqueduct was 9 kilometers long and supplied the roughly 12,000 legionnaires in Moguntiacum with fresh spring water. The first 6 kilometers of the aqueduct was built as an underground channel, while the last 3 kilometers was on arches. In order to overcome the greatest difference in height, the pillars had to be constructed up to 30 meters. The distance from the center of one pillar to the center of the next was 8.5 meters. The water flowed in the gutter in the upper part of the pillar, which measured about 40 by 90 centimeters. The Roman theater was once the largest Roman theater north of the Alps, with a diameter of 116 meters, a stage width of 42 meters, and a capacity of roughly 10,000 people. After the construction of the city wall in the middle of the 4th century AD, for which stone from the theater was used, the theater was left outside the walled area and fell into ruin. More and more of the stone from the theater was taken away for reuse in new construction projects. Foundations of the stage building were found in 1884 during the construction of the railway and were recorded before being demolished to make way for the tracks and platforms of the train station. The finds were not connected with the long-lost theater until 1914, when further remains were discovered during the construction of a canal. Due to the First World War, however, no further excavations could be undertaken. In the late 1990s, excavations and preservation of the findings of the Roman theater finally commenced. The Thanks for joining me in episode 3, where we went to Mainz. Can't wait to see you next time on Travels with My Dad.